Okay, guys, so I introduced you to the standard algorithm and you saw how that worked. So today we're going to talk about using the area model to help us with division. It's just another strategy that you can use, okay? So I'm going to look at using the problem 657 divided by 3, okay? Now, I want you to think about when we have talked about area, we know that our formula for area is width times length is going to equal the area, right? So I want you to think about this as an area problem, okay? My area is my total, right? So my area is going to be my 657. And my width is going to be 3. I need to know what my length is to be able to multiply times 3 to get the 657. So remember, when we are doing division, it is the inverse of multiplication. So 657 divided by 3 is the same as 3 times what is going to give me 657. So that's what we're going to look at doing today, okay? So because I'm looking at an area model, I'm going to draw a rectangle because I know that when I'm finding the area, I'm usually finding the area of a rectangle, okay? And the area of this particular rectangle is going to be 657. You see how I left 3 blanks in here? You're going to need that. So make sure you have 3 lines, okay? My width is going to be 3. And what I want to do is I want to figure out what can I multiply by 3 to get as close as possible to 657. Okay. Now, in order to do that, we have been doing in class easy breezy multiplication facts. Okay. And these are just facts that we know are going to be easy for us to pull from to solve these problems, okay? So, for example, the first fact I'm going to start with, these are facts that we know that are quick that we can pull from our treasure chest of multiplication facts we know, okay? So, the first one I'm going to look at here is going to be 3 times 1 because I have the factor 3 already. And I know that 3 times 1 is 3, right? That's very simple. Well, if I know that 3 times 1 is 3, I know that 3 times 10 is, that's right, it would be 30. I'm just adding the 0, right? And then I know that 3 times 100 would be 300. I'm just adding 2 zeros, okay? So what are some other easy breezy facts that I know? Well, I know my 2's because I can skip count by 2. So let's do 3 times 2, and I know that's going to equal 6. And then 3 times 20, well, that's going to equal 60. 3 times 200, I know is going to equal 600, okay? Another one that I like to do, guys, is 5s, okay? Because it's easy to skip count by 5s. So I'm going to also do my easy breezy facts for 5, okay? I'm going to come over here and do them right here. 3 times 5, I know is going to be 15. 5, 10, 15. So that means that 3 times 50 is going to equal 150. All I'm doing is adding a 0. And I know that 3 times 500 is going to be 1,500. Okay, well, that one's probably much bigger than I need because my total dividend is 657. So I know that that one's probably bigger than I need. All right, so I want to look at some of these easy breezy facts and I want to see if any of them can get me close to 657. Well, ding, 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 ding. I saw here that 3 times 200 is 600. That is really close to 657. So I'm going to use that one. So up here, I'm going to put 200 as my length. And in order to find my area, I'm going to multiply 200 times 3, and that's going to equal 600. All right, well, let's see if I have anything left. So 657 minus 600, well, yeah, I'm still going to have some area left. I still have 57 units left in my area. So I'm going to draw another area model over here. I'm going to put my 57 units up here. So that's now my new dividend. And I'm going to look back at my Easy Breezy Facts and see if there's anything close to 57 that I could use. Okay. Well, when I look, I see 3 times 20 is 60, but that's too big. I can't use that one. And I have 3 times 10 is 30. Well, I can use that, so I'm going to go with that. Okay. So 3 times 10, I'm going to use the factor 10, and I'm going to multiply to see how much area I use. 3 times 10 is going to be 30. So 57 minus 30 is going to leave me with 27. All right, 27's smaller, but it's not small enough because I still have 3 over here. So I'm going to have to make another area model, and I'm going to put 27 as my new area. It's going to be my new dividend, okay? And I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to see, do I have an Easy Breezy fact that's going to be close to 27? All right, now, guys, I'm going to be plain honest with you here. If I look over here and I see 3 times 10 is 30, well, I know that's too big, okay? And I can do 3 times 5 is 15. I can do that. But that's going to mean I'm going to have a smaller number, and I'm going to have to do another area model. And I can do that. If you want to do that, go ahead. That's fine. But I'm going to think, is there a factor between 3 times 5 and 3 times 10 that might get me closer to 27? So I'm going to start at this 3 times 5, and I'm going to list my multiples of 3. Okay, so I know 3 times 5 is 15. So that means 3 times 6 is going to be 3 more, is going to be 18. 3 times 7 is going to be 3 more, so that's going to be 21. 3 times 8 is going to be 3 more, so that's going to be 24. And 3 times 9 is going to be 3 more, which is going to be 27. All right, so look, if I do 3 times 9, 3 times 9 is going to give me an area of 27. And if I subtract 27 minus 27, I'm going to be left with 0. I have nothing left to divide into, so I'm going to add my partial lengths because I have the length of this one and the length of this one and the length of this one. These are also called partial quotients. And I'm going to get 219 with no remainder. So 657 divided by 3 is going to equal 219. Now, I need to check my work and make sure I'm right. So 219 times 3. Well, 9 times 3, I just did it, is 27. So I'm going to leave my 7 in my ones place, and I'm going to bring my 2 over. 3 times 1 10 is 3 tens plus 2 more tens, leaves me with 5 tens, and then 3 times 2 is 6. So my final answer matches my dividend, so I know I did my problem correctly. All right, so let's do one more of the area model, and then I'll let you try one on your own, okay? So let's try dividing, see if we can find one this time that has a remainder, okay? So let's look at 488, and we're going to divide that by 7, okay? So 488 divided by 7. So let me go ahead first thing and draw my area model. So there's my rectangle, and I'm going to put my area of 488 and my width of 7. Okay, so I have my area model ready. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to list my easy breezy multiplication facts. Okay, so what are my facts of 7 that I can use to help me solve this problem? Okay, so again, we always start with 1, but I'll be honest with you, looking at this, so if I think 7 times 100, that's usually where I go, to be honest with you. 7 times 100 is going to be way too big because it's going to be 700. So I don't think I need to start with my 1s, okay? So let's start with our 2s. 7 times 2 I know is 14. So 7 times 20 is going to be 140. All right, so that's pretty good. I don't need to go to 200 because that's going to put me in the thousands, and I'm not dividing into a dividend that's that big. So I'm not even going to go there. What about, let's see, I know my 5s. So 7 times 5 is 35. And then that means that 7 times 50 is 350. Okay, that's pretty good. I think I can go with that. So that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to multiply 7 times 50. I'm going to put my 50 up here for my length. And that's going to give me 350. Okay, so now I'm going to subtract. 8 minus 0 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So I have 138. All right, now I'm going to have to bring over my 138 and make a new area model because I have a new dividend, 138. Now, looking over here, I see that 7 times 20 is 140. Well, that was too much. And I see that 7 times 5 is only 35. So that's not nearly enough. I know if I have 7 times 10, that would be 70. So I'm going to go with that because it's smaller than the 140 and it's bigger than 35. So I'm going to put 7 times 10 over here, and that's going to be 70. Okay. So some of you might have multiples that you already know or you're thinking will get you closer to 138. If you do, go ahead and try them. See what you get because you might come up with a multiple that will get you closer and you won't have to do as many steps, okay? But for the one that we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and go with 10, okay? So I'm going to take my factor of 10 and I'm going to multiply it times 7, and that's going to give me 70. So now I'm going to subtract 138 minus 70. Well, 8 minus 0 is 8. 13, yes, I could decompose that 1 and make it a 0 and cross out the 3 and make it a 13, but I already have 13 here, so I really don't need to do that. I can say 13 minus 7, and that's going to be 6. So now I have a new area of 68. So I'm going to bring my 68 up. And I'm going to look and see, okay, well, 7 times 10 is 70. That's bigger than 68. 7 times 5 is 35. So I really think that there's probably going to be a factor between 5 and 10 that will be close to 68. And guys, if you really think about how your multiplication works and how skip counting works, if I know that 7 times 10 is 70, I know that 7 times 9 is 7 less than that. So 7 times 9 is basically going to be 70 minus 7, and that's going to be 63. So I can use that as a factor. So let's see. 7 times 9 is 63. I'm going to subtract 68 minus 63, and that's going to leave me with 5. Okay, can I divide 5 by 7? No, 5 is smaller than 7. So this 5 has to be my remainder. It is what is left over. Now I'm going to add all of my partial lengths or my partial quotients. And I have 50 plus 10, which is 60, plus 9, which is 50, or I'm sorry, 60. See, that was about to be a careless mistake. 69. Remainder 5. So now I need to check my work. Remember, you cannot stop until you've checked your work. So I'm going to multiply 69 times 7. Well, I just did. 7 times 9 is 63. So I'm going to have a 3 in the ones place, and I'm going to bring my 6 over. 7 times 6. Well, I might have to go back over here and work on my multiples a little bit, but I know 7 times 6 is 42, plus 6 is going to be 48. And then I have to add back in my remainder of 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8. So 488 is my answer. 488 is my dividend. So I know that my problem is correct. All right, guys, so I want you to try one on your own now and then bring it to me to let me check it, okay? So the one I want you to try on your own, I want you to do 542 divided by 9, okay? Don't forget, you're drawing your area model, you're putting your area inside, you are putting your width on the outside. Also, don't forget to do your easy breezy multiplication facts to help you as you're dividing. All right, good luck. I hope you get the hang of this.